It's live, Jarrod. You can clink. New Warriors come out to play. Are those old mustaches?
Those are old mustaches stuck to the Diet Frosty. I recently acquired some new Diet Frosty.
I thought you were going to say I acquired some new mustaches.
Well, let's not get carried away.
Like if I were to have had the ability to pause your speech, and I acquired some new, I would have assumed.
Now, I think I still have one super big one that I'm waiting for, like a
special occasion.
Yeah, I think I got one laying around here.
I mean, S&T 100's coming up.
That's true. We're going to record that in December if all things go according to plan.
It just sounds like another long episode I got to record or clean up. Some BS. Oh, I got a script to read. Just sitting there talking and people listening. Words. Welcome to Come Out to Play, a New Warriors podcast. I am Delvin, a.k.a. The Dark Web. If you're watching this via YouTube or whatever, where you're listening, we'd love for you to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for joining us live. If you're joining us live, people who are joining us live would be Scott O'Neill, Ann, AU Kathy Bright, LONGBOX CRUSADE's MVP, Matt Passo, who actually has M and P in, as his initials. If his middle name were Victor, he would be LONGBOX CRUSADE's MVP. There's that. And I saw a comment from Eric Porter as well, because I had the YouTube up from yesterday when I was making this script. I have not introduced the guy to my. What are you? My left? Are you my right?
I'm the white guy. Just go with the white guy.
I can't even say guy with glasses. I have glasses now. Good.
I'm sorry. I am doing an art piece while we talk, so I have my art glasses on.
Oh, you're multitasking.
I am multitasking just a little bit.
All right, so is this an art piece that you're getting paid for, or is this one that's going to go to some lucky listener at the end of the show?
Neither one. This is an art piece that was going to go to my son.
Which son?
The big one. Jordan I'll give you guys a preview. He's a big Godzilla fan, and he does not know, so hopefully he's not watching, that I'm doing this Godzilla piece. As you can see, I've got some layout. I'm just filling stuff in at this point. Then I got some background work. Anyway, welcome to Come Out to Play.
Yeah, I'm Delvin. The artist there is Jarrod. I also remember that Jordan years ago drew a Godzilla picture for me that I still have.
Fancy.
I actually still have the candle that y'all gave me for his christening ceremony. It is
that sucker is going on 20 years old.
that is an old A candle. Absolutely. So Oh, Jarrod, the Nova, my Night Thrasher. Do you have a question for me while you're drawing? And
I do have a question for you today. And since we are switching writers to Evan Skolnick, my question to you was going to be, and is, memorable writer switch on a comic. Can be good, could be bad. I mean, we tend to run positive on these networks, but if there's one that you're like, this song, that's quite all right too.
I can't. If there was one that, man, there was when you mentioned suck, there was a period I can't remember the guy's name, and he drew he wrote Uncanny X-Men, and it was so bad. I'm trying to
Chris Claremont.
You ain't got enough of losing the mind fights. There was a storyline he did called The Draco, of which I remember nothing about it other than it was awful. Like it's like, dude, do you have no feel of the X-Men at all? And then since we're talking a little bit bad, like there was an era where at the end of the Clone Saga, had just spiraled out of control. They kept a shell-shocked Howard Mackie on the series when they rebooted it. And it was Howard Mackie and it was John Byrne, and it was some of the most joyless, amazing. I remember this era, yeah. It got to the point where I thought about quitting reading Amazing Spider-Man. And as I said years ago, if I ever quit reading Amazing Spider-Man, I'm done with comic books. And so it was bad. But if I were to,
but this might be where you're going then, because I think isn't that you go ahead and I'll get back to that Mackey line if you don't cover it.
so sure enough, like I think Paul Jenkins and Mark Buckingham took over adjectiveless Spidey first, which is really good. And then J. Michael Straczynski came on and woo, boy, he cooked. Now, the funny thing is the first thought that I had was, like David Michelinie was not a bad writer for Spidey at all. I enjoyed his writing, but he switched to J.M. DeMatteis, and J.M. on Amazing Spider-Man that culminated in thank you in issue 400. Oh my God! So that
400 may be the most wasted issue.
It was so good too.
It was so good.
It was like not only like Peter Parker sat there at Aunt May's bedside while he passed away, but Ben Reilly was on the outside and he couldn't even participate in it, and he was crying. I was like, oh my God, it was so good.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
It was so good. Eric Porter brought up the name of the writer of X-Men, Chuck Austin. Yeah.
Yeah. He did some Flash work, I think. I think he was on Flash before that.
Hopefully it was, better than X-Men. I'll just say that. Heinz Cook came on, said hello, everyone. Hello,
what up, Heinz?
And let's see, Matt Passo added, as far as your question says, for me, it was when Bendis took over every Marvel book and made everyone talk and act the same. You shut that down, Matt. You shut it down right now.
I mean, it's funny. I give him that.
Scott O'Neill says Thunderbolts. Kurt Busiek into Fabian Nicieza, a change that is somewhat relevant to this issue of New Warriors. We covered, I think, one of the last issues that Fabian did in Thunderbolts before it switched over to the Warren Ellis run. I should go back and read that, because I kind of look back. I was like, was he covering like the wellspring that happened and came back and he talked about it in Thunderbolts, but I didn't pick it up somehow, even though I'm a New Warriors fan? I don't know. Eric Porter says Mark Waid taking over for Mark Gruenwald. Where? Are you talking Captain America?
I think.
If so, I totally agree. Totally agree, because at the time it was like, yeah, Cap Wolf, and people were like,
"Hey, you shut up about Cap Wolf. That's an awesome story."
Was it?
You know I like werewolves.
So that is true. Let's see if anyone else. Jim Mill came on. He said, "Evening, everyone. Good evening,
hey,
Jim." I think we included everyone. And was your answer J. Michael Straczynski?
Oh, it's got to be up there.
J. Michael Straczynski, or did you have another answer?
It's got to be up there. I had one, but this whole drawing while I talk thing might be getting to me because it fell out of my head. What was it? It was well, Straczynski was up there. Dang it, I had one that came to mind. I was like, yeah, it'll come to me later at an inappropriate time. But you can't go wrong with that. That Straczynski run did bring it back. I remember what it was. I got it.
Nice.
Actually, I can't remember the writer's name. It'll happen. Brubaker, Captain America.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they relaunched Captain America, they relaunched like a few times there. It was like let's try this and let's try this, and I think like John Nay Reiber or something like that was right before him, and it was okay. But then, but it was like, hey, I'm gonna bring Bucky back, and everybody was like, that's dumb. And then we read it, we were like,
like you don't bring back Bucky. No one ever brings back Bucky. That's canon. You're not supposed to bring back Bucky. Ooh.
I mean, like, not only was it canon, but it was like, Bucky's outdated. He's lame. He's like the cheesier version of Robin. He can't be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong again. Jared Albrecht was a habitual line stepper.
Man, Brubaker came in with a plan.
Yeah, he was like, I got a plan. And everybody was like, that's dumb. And then it was like, no, it was not done.
It was not done. It was very well executed. Very well. All right. Well, good question. And we did it in just under 10 minutes. That was pretty good for us. Come out to play as a chronicling of the 1990 series, The New Warriors. The first volume of The New Warriors ran 75 issues. We will cover all this first volume as I rediscover my love for this series, help others find theirs, share our love, enjoy the listening audience. Grab your skateboards, your bucket helmets, and maybe some gauze if you're named Marita. It's time to play. We are talking about New Warriors issue 54. The cover credits go to Richard Pace and Bruce Patterson. Jared's not too busy to bring up that cover, and since you brought it up, you can also describe it if you like, sir.
All right, man. This one definitely has a new feel for, I guess, maybe a new writer. But all right, so I guess the main thing is to know that the background of the cover is black. Like a lot of covers get drawn on white and it gets colored, but like this is on black. Like the corner box is backed in black. The logo is backed in black. So anyway, speaking of which, the corner box has got it's got Speedball and it's got a cool funky orange to pink fade in the Marvel Comics logo, and the New Warriors font is orange with green highlights, and above it says all they want to do is save the world. And then your main action is Namorita, and she looks like she's very concerned about Falcon, not Falcon, Cardinal, and by far the coolest member of the Air Force, aside from Delvin and I, of course. And and then in the background, sort of looking on and like gasp, is Firestar, Justice, Nova, Speedball, stamped Casualties of War. Because Cardinal ain't looking good. Chimera looks good. I mean, like I think this is a Pace. Yeah, it's a Pace, and she looks very pretty. He's done a good job. Good hair work on this one.
Yeah, and I think my thoughts, even though they've softened on Richard Pace, but my overall critique now is still the same of where like you put something in the foreground and it's like, oh, you put something in the background, it's like, it's like I spent 58 minutes drawing the foreground. I only have 2 minutes to draw the background.
I mean, old artist trick. You don't have to put in as much detail in the background because it's further away. Yeah,
I do get it. And
Your Honor, Mr. Pace is doing his best work here.
Trust me, like I am not ever going to sit there and say, "Oh man, Richard Pace is trash." And like, even if I thought Richard Pace was trash, and I do not, the good news for me would be that this is the last issue that he draws. But this is not the last. This is not the last cover that he draws. He draws covers for the foreseeable future. But we are moving on to a new penciler. We'll get to that at the end of the issue.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Did you say what you think? Well, I'll start with what I think about the cover. I think it is good. Like, if anything, you know what I like? I like the shadow that is falling over Chimera and Cardinal.
Yeah, I just now noticed that. Yeah, I see it now. There's definitely a shadow there.
That's some good work. And like, I mean, and so like, that combined with like, the darkness of the background, like it just feels like something very serious is heavy. Going on.
Yeah.
And so like Chimera looks, I mean, and of course Cardinal, who's a pretty formidable foe, got wrecked. And like, so what the heck wrecked him this badly? In a sense, it reminds me, do you remember, I don't know if you were reading Uncanny X-Men at the time, and they were teasing the villain Onslaught. And there was a cover that Joe Matt drew, and it had Juggernaut just like it just like basically like leaving an imprint in the ground. He was laid out so bad. And they're like, basically, who did this to Juggernaut? And it was like, ooh.
Yeah, just if it's not the Hulk and it's not Thor, it's got to be somebody bad.
Yeah, it's got to be somebody powerful. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Like somebody was powerful enough to one, wreck Cardinal, and two, like have all of the Warriors who have seen a few things at this point, kind of standing aback. So I think it's a good cover. What do you think?
I didn't read it. Wait, that doesn't work for the cover. I like the color work a lot. I do. And like you said, the black lends to the heaviness of it. I like the fact from a macro view, I like the fact that if you were flipping through a bin, you'd be like, flip, and you'd be like, oh, that's a different looking cover. And that's the exact point that delineates the new writer. Like, I like that little meta fact. Like, You can just tell this is where the new writer starts right here as you're flipping through the bins. I really do like the color work. I like the pop off black. I think Cardinal looks really good. It damaged and everything. Like you said, the man does foregrounds really, really well. And like as mentioned before, I think Marita or Chimera looks real pretty and a good look of concern on her face. I really like hair. Hair is really hard to draw, women's hair especially, to get it to look really kind of cool and organic. And yeah, I like it a lot. I really like this quite a bit.
Okay. We got a few comments. Let's see. I mean, this was dating back from our the question that you asked, but kind of relevant to Warriors as well. Scott O'Neill says in Thunderbolts, there's a side team called the Redeemers. One of the Redeemers was a new meteorite, Valerie Barnhart, who was the daughter of Sprocket and Cardinal. Because as it was kind of hinted in the book, Sprocket and Cardinal like to get it on. Woo-wee. All right. Eric Porter said another one was Chuck Dixon taking over the back titles.
Oh, yeah. Even though he took it over from a good run. Like, it went from good to really good. We talked about this just past Sunday.
Yep. And let's see, there's a little bit of a love for Mark Gruenwald as well. Eric Porter just mentioned that personally, that he loved the Gruenwald cap run. So there you go.
I got to give a shout out to Gruenwald for those of you who didn't know this. I think he considered his seminal run was on Avengers, I think. So much so, some of you may know, some of you may not, that when he died, it was in his will that he was cremated and his ashes were mixed with the ink for the trade paperback reprints of his Avengers run. His body is literally in the books.
Dang.
Isn't that cool? I think that's awesome.
I don't know if I've even read the Gruenwald run.
I think Avengers. It was. I reserve the right to be wrong. My brain says Avengers, but you know how my brain's getting. So, but yeah, I do know that he was cremated and had his ashes mixed with the ink to print the books.
Okay. Few things about the cover. Matt Passo says I do like the art and the color on this cover. Scott O'Neill added, Pace loved to save a few minutes by adding volume to Justice's cape to give him the whole cloak effect. And then concerning the get it all comment, Scott said, Cardinal picked up the phone.
Sprocket.
Sprinkle. Okay, so let's rate this thing 1 to 10 nightsticks, truncheons if you're nasty. I'll go first. I'm at an 8 on this. It is a good cover. It is. And you know, like you got that military stamped casualties of war. And guess what though? Like they weren't far off. Like
I'll get into it.
Okay. I'm interested to see because I'll add Eric Porter had a comment and said that I reread this issue today and it definitely had a issue 29 to 30 feel in it when I believe they went to Transabal.
Yep.
We can get to it since it feels like Jared's going to have something to say about it because I kind of had those thoughts too, but we'll get to the issue in a second. Jared, what would you rate the cover?
I'm going to be completely original and I'm going to tag it at an 8. So okay. Yeah, we both are at 8s on this. And honestly, I mean, for the new guy, for Pace, that's really good. And hats off to the colorist. I don't know if it's the same person who colored the book. Oftentimes it is, but not always. Colorist really helped him out, even though he didn't need a ton of help. I mean, look at the purple clouds, like the purple cloud fading in the background. Colorist did some carrying here, but it's not to take away from Pace. He drew a great drawing.
Yeah. You think that I had never, posted this podcast before. If anyone also would like to comment with their ratings, I will be more than happy to read those. Case in point, Matt Passo says, I give this cover an 8. The team in the back may not be super detailed, but I love that you can still know who they are. The black in Namorita's eyes is great. So there's that. And Eric help you out. Eric Porter help you out, said it was the Squadron Supreme, not the Avengers.
Thank you. Yeah, old brain, but yes, thank you so much. That puzzle piece clicking in my brain feels quite good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's why we got that's why we have this live show that we can get people to comment and help us out and make us look smart. Kathy says the color work sells it for me, and she will agree with an 8. And Scott, even we're about to get to the issue, but it's okay. Says this is the Timu Transabal story. The Soldiers of Misfortune is my least favorite issue story of the whole run. Skolnick does get much better though. That's an interesting table setter. Let's see. Jarrod, have you read the cover credits for the issue? No, you have not. Jarrod, please read the cover credits for the issue.
I will. This is New Warriors issue 54. Its on sale date was the 10th month of 1994 on the 25th day of that 10th month. Its cover date is the 12th month of 1994, and its cover price is $6. See, my bit here is like overcomplicating simple information. The story is by Evan Skolnick. The pencils are by Richard Pace. Get a rope. The inks are Bruce Patterson. And the colors are Joe Rosas. The letters are Lorena Mappa. And the editor is Tom Brevoort. And thank you to Mike's Amazing World. I believe it's time for a synopsis.
It is. And I don't know if you remember or not, but like all the way up until last issue, the editor for the book was Rob Tokar. He has passed those responsibilities off to Mr. Brevoort. And that might explain why Mr. Brevoort came on and decided that he was going to go a different direction with the penciler. Almost like a GM for a sports team being hired on and immediately firing the head coach and bringing in his or her own head coach. I want to say her because I want to think that there's been a female general manager in a sports team, but I don't know. In any event, the title of this issue is Might Makes Wrong. The Warriors make their way to Zaire to help out the Air Force in a humanitarian mission, and they wind up getting their beeps handed to them by the Soldier of Misfortune. And Jarrod's going to have a few panels and stuff to bring up. We're going to talk about those panels and stuff. Jarrod apparently is going to have a gripe about what went on in the book. So let's hear. Well, I don't know when he's going to get to it.
Yeah, we'll clear the decks on it. That's fine. We'll start right here. I completely agree with the commenter whose name I've already forgot because I shouldn't be doing two things at once. Scott, yes, I went into this, as you know, my biggest complaint about Fabian. Heavy, especially in that second half, just heavy. Like, I want to get every social issue on my mind out. And like, okay, dude, but like, can we make the book fun? No, we will not make it fun. We will. And the poor Justice was the brunt of it, right? And then, so I'm like, okay, Skolnick's here, so certainly he's going to bring back fun. I'm like, Rwanda. Okay. well then, war-torn Africa. Yeah, okay. Fun is not going to be here. And it wasn't, and but that's my big gripe. But it's not be a gripe the whole time type of thing. I have plenty of good things to say, but it just the heaviness did not go away, and it did immediately make me think of Transabal.
Okay,
all right, let's do.
I guess while you're bringing that up, I'll share my thoughts on it. I did think about Transabal as well. I think that the driver of the Transabal story was more the heaviness, as opposed to this issue where the driver of this Rwandan Zaire social issue, or the social issues, that it was more the backdrop. Like, because like the main thing is like, we're here on a humanitarian mission, and then oh my God.
In a way, it's worse destroyed. Though. In a way, it's a little worse though, because Transabal's not real. This is real, so it's like,
you don't have access to the letters page. One of the things they did in the letters page that I thought was pretty cool was that they kind of put some numbers or some phone numbers that you can call and donate and help towards, such a dark cause that wasn't real life. So they at least addressed the gravity. Matt Passo made a comment, which I thought was funny, and said, New Warriors Special Missions. I thought you would enjoy that.
Yeah, it's up my alley.
and because I made the comment about Richard Pace, Scott said Pace wasn't happy he's written a few times about how he signed on to work with Fabian, and Pace particularly roasted this story. My sense is that all parties involved were happy for Pace to leave. Scott, we're gonna have to talk, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna need that info.
Because if you've heard a few of the shows live recently, I have kind of wondered about this whole Fabian leaving the thing. They gave him an opportunity to say goodbye last issue, and like it was the equivalent of the emoji, and you can't see my hands, but you can see my shoulders.
I knew what it was.
You didn't even look. You didn't even see me, and you knew exactly what I was going to do. Like, well, see ya. Like, really? Like, dude created the characters, boosted it to popularity. He did get to see his song, say his swan song, but it was like, I don't know. There's just something I'm missing. So Scott, if you can put it in the comments, or if you want to just like message me and let me know, I would love to know the gossip behind it.
I wouldn't be opposed to having Richard Pace on the show and let him tell his story.
Unless Richard was like, and he's beep, and it's like,
I mean, I'd laugh. I'd be like, oh, all right.
It's like, we can't cut his feed.
Well,
it make us look bad.
Well, man's got opinions.
Woo. I don't even come to think of it. Like the New Warriors page that I'm on Facebook, I don't think I've ever seen Richard Pace comment. Scott O'Neill comments, by the way. He's such a cool. I said he's a cool dude. And he's Canadian. Like, how many Canadians other than Bret Hart, whiny
he'd be
and
like,
mopey?
He'd be like, oh, these whippersnappers, and like this real soft cursing,
I dislike him, man.
Melon farmers. Those of you that remember edited 80s TV.
And we haven't even gotten to the first panel, Jarrod.
Oh, yeah, I probably should do something about that. Yeah.
Probably.
And the first one is a question, too, because it's such an odd format on... See what I mean? Like the formatting of the page is weird.
Yeah.
When it's on, I read it on Unlimited. Is it 2 pages in your book? Is it like, it was such a weird layout. Do you turn it sideways?
Yes.
There we go. Okay. I was like,
if I could turn pages today. Oh my goodness. And then what's making it hard is there's this flap here. I don't even know what this is. There's nothing on it. Why is there a flap? Anyway.
You were flabbergasted. There we go. Okay, now it makes sense. Mm-hmm. So you turn it sideways and you open up like a magazine that you'd read when you were a teenager.
You should go on.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was my main reason for putting up here. I was like, what is the formatting? And it just occurred to me right before you showed it to me. But I also think it's wordy. It's heavy wordy. So I know that's kind of a negative thing. And it what that tells me is this is a new writer who's not quite sure of himself. So he's like, I gotta get this information out right. He hasn't quite learned the show don't tell, but he's got a story he wants to get out and rolling. So he's got a lot of info dump. I get it. I like the art. I like the layout. And I was pleased to see Cardinal back again because I liked Cardinal from the Air Force. He seemed he reminded me a lot of Falcon, and I really like Falcon. So there you go.
If, as we kind of mentioned this point with Richard Pace a few times, the primary thing on that 2-pager is what? Cardinal. Mm-hmm. And is it drawn excellently? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It looks great. Mm-hmm. And it does set the table, at least, of saying, like, they didn't try to attack or whatever. And it's like, no, like we are getting this stuff to the Rwandans who need these supplies, which is cool. And then so the rest of the page was just the Warriors kind of seeing this. This was on TV and kind of having a discussion. But it brings up a pretty important point. You mentioned wordiness, and it's like some of those words were very necessary, such as, and I have to bring this to your attention because it's going to be very important in the relatively near future.
All right.
Night Thrasher isn't here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I read that.
And the reason why he isn't here, it seems noble enough. Like, they mentioned, I don't know if you're going to include this page, but Night Thrasher did a pretty good job of converting Cardinal in the Air Force. they used to kind of be mercenaries, but he kind of turned them into good guys and made them see the light. Somehow, I didn't read those issues of Night Thrasher, so I don't know. But there's that part of it, and that's important. That is very, very important. I just want to bring that to your attention. Night Thrasher isn't here. Like, I mean, and you can at least see, like, in this issue why it's important. Night Thrasher wasn't here, and Rage wasn't here. And maybe if Night Thrasher and Rage was here, that battle would have gone differently because it went sideways.
It did not work out at all.
It didn't work out at all. Well, and then there is a parallel of sorts, right? Because in the Transabal issue, Night Thrasher wasn't there either. And Rage, was Rage there? I don't remember. But Night Thrasher wasn't. Like, maybe they just should not leave the country.
Well, I gotta admit, when I was reading this opening scene and they're like having breakfast and they're watching the news and they're like, we should do something. Yeah, we should do something. Night Thrasher's not here. Let's figure out something we should do. Let's go do something. And it was like, to me, it felt like Booster, Beetle, Mr. Miracle, and Guy Gardner sitting around a table, and Batman's gone. And like, yeah, let's go do something. Like, no, stop it. You guys stop. Like, and what happened?
Yeah, like you remember that last adventure you went on without Batman? What happened? We effed it up. You effed it up. So no go without Batman. No, don't do it. So yes, no Night Thrasher, and then they're like, freaking Air Force is doing something. Maybe we should do something.
Yeah, look at
Scott. Let me know that Rage was in Transabal, by the way. Sorry to interrupt here. What did you say?
No, I was just underlining what you said. Yeah, Air Force is doing stuff. We're not doing nothing. Let's go do something. Should we plan? No, let's go. All right.
I think that's how the Army acts. You know?
Yeah, well, their win-loss record's still better than the New Warriors. All right. Next up is a double page spread that I pretty much included for the artwork because, like, that's
wow,
cool,
that pops.
That's
that
a cool
really
underwater
pops.
ship.
Holy cow, that pops on the wow.
Look at that. Isn't that great?
It is.
And I like and Skolnick, credit to his writing, he introduces these guys in really cool, sharp looking uniforms. And there's an air of like, this is good show don't tell, because there's an air, because the ship looks great, the uniforms look sharp, but they have a dash of that, Nazi look going on too. So it's like you immediately get the fact that these guys are organized. This is not their first rodeo, and they have their junk together. So it's a lot of good storytelling visually.
These guys mean business.
They mean businesses. So that's why I picked the page.
Yeah. We get introduced to the Soldiers of Misfortune. Looks like General Obsidian, which is kind of a cool effect because you can't see his face.
Yes.
I don't remember much about these Soldiers of Misfortune. And
I'd never heard of them until this book. And I was like, these are kind of cool.
Yeah. And like they introduced some kind of cool ideas. And so, yeah, we got the Soldiers of Misfortune. They seem to be the ones, like, because one of the things they mentioned that sort of spurred the Warriors to action is that they saw like this flash of light and some weird stuff happen, even though the Air Force went in to try and stop it. And so the Soldiers of Misfortune were behind it. And it looks like they took out 2 members of the Air Force, whose names I'm not going to remember, but neither one of them were Cardinal.
Mockingjay,
Tanager. Tanager was one. That's
Chaparral.
Sure.
I'm just making up bird names at this point.
Cacaw. Yeah,
Tookie.
Let's go with that.
All right, I'll bring you another page. But yeah, I just thought very good show don't tell, a lot of information passed along. Okay, so Cardinal barely survives. We get to see the Cardinal barely survive moment again. Cool art. I love how he's spilling out from the center panel. Really adds to his collapse moment. This was the moment that I found out the Cardinal was a black dude. I had no idea up until now. So I was like, because I always kind of like the Falcon, more so than I thought, I guess. But like, okay. And yeah, so another one I kind of picked artistically, but it's also a story beat, as we mentioned. Cardinal does his best, but he ain't doing great.
Yeah, like, he did his best, and then all of a sudden, like, he got completely wrecked. as a result of it, what I like about it is that the next page was Sprocket saw him, ran toward him, was trying to get information for the Warriors. And, Cardinal tried to talk as best as he could, being not close to mortally wounded. I don't think he dies, but he's close. And so can say a lot of words, but he's like, man, if Sprocket, if anything, you need to tell your folks to get the hell up out of there. That's one of the reasons that I like this storyline, by the way, a little bit better. The Trance of Ball storyline to me was a little confusing. As far as okay, there's this side here, but then there's this side here, but then there's this other side here, and then the Warriors come here, and it's what? I am not a military strategist. I don't need to. I'm reading a comic book. Why is this so confusing? Did Jason bring this for Crusade? I'm kidding, Jason. But in this case, you had yes, there's the war between the two warring African factions, but for whatever reason, the Soldiers of Misfortune really don't like I think it was the Tootsies.
Tootsie, yeah.
I don't know why they don't like them, but they don't like them. They are slaughtering. they're just slaughtering them for whatever reason. It was a simpler plot for me to understand, and I appreciate it.
And back to the heaviness. It's just I don't want to get onto it too much. Just bad stuff happens in Africa like that. Just the slaughtering. Rough. It's rough. All right, let's do something more fun. Action-packed double-page spreads, sir.
Looks like Shatterstar. It's not.
That's exactly like that. It was sort of a Shatterstar and with a dash of Sabretooth.
Yeah.
It's the 90s, man. When you don't go into battle unless you have at least 7 swords.
and you have to have this the straps around a quad, which would seem to be extremely limiting. If you were doing any sort of fight, it's okay, let's bind the biggest muscle groups of my body and restrict them from moving. I don't know.
But yeah, what a great double page spread. What a great action beat. And of course I put it in because story-wise, this is where the sort of the combat begins between not much combat. One-sided combat begins between the New Warriors and the Soldiers of Misfortune. Back to Delvin.
Yeah, this guy, his name, I'm probably gonna screw him up, but this guy, they're simple enough names. This dude was named Cut. And the woman that is desiccating people in the background is named Dry.
Yeah, I noticed that all of them are in a pair. There's Cut and Dry, and there's other paired names that.
Yeah, Cut and Dry, Light and Dark, Right and Wrong.
There you go.
So pretty simple names to remember. And Scott O'Neill commented, New Warriors from early Image Comics. Matt Paso says full on Image, so they are in agreement there.
Yes, this is of that era, isn't it?
Yeah. But they just immediately come in, and of course, their leader gave them the order to get right back in there, take care of the rest of the members of the Air Force, and wipe out as many of these people as you possibly can. I don't know the reasons, and maybe it gets revealed next issue why they are so anti the Tutsis, but I don't know. We will find out. That's all I got, Jarrod.
All right, sir. Just really cool looking art. Definitely of the Image era. Let's go on. We have 3 more. All right. I picked this one for, I believe, 2 reasons. I think it's hard for me to read the words on the page, but the battle continues. It's not going well, but I did, going back to the Trance of Ball thing, and Jarrod's sort of been waiting for this moment since the book started. Bottom right corner, I believe that's General Obsidian, actually says about Firestar, she could destroy this whole continent or something like that if we don't get this under wraps fast.
Yep.
I'm like, yes, that's what I keep saying. That she's like the Human Torch level of powerful when he goes all out.
Yep. Said she could take out half the continent.
There you go.
And Africa
is big.
Is big. Africa is a large continent. So yeah. it does explain her power levels and why they had to take her out quickly and effectively. So there is that. There is that. And so, yeah, this is just in the middle of like the Warriors are trying to fight, but there was something that happened right as the battle commences that was pretty good writing to me by Evan. And one of the Warriors asked Vance, like, Vance, have you seen these dudes before? Because if you remember back in the day, Vance is the human encyclopedia when it comes to all of the good guys and bad guys because he was such an Avengers fan. So I thought that was like, you were mentioning the show not tell. That's a pretty good example of Evan saying, hey, I did my homework.
I read some books. I read some books. So, yeah, I always get excited about potential of Firestar. I just feel like we've never seen. I'll get off that soapbox. Okay, so this is near the end of the battle. Is not going well. Pretty much so. Chimera, who once again looks very lovely, is the last one left. And I knew there was gonna be trouble the minute I knew there was a villain called Dry. I was like, this is the absolute kryptonite for this person. And like Dry, you see her left hand that's across her lap here. It's decaying almost because Dry dried her out fast. And then what a terrifying story beat as Cut creeps up on her, and it doesn't even show her, it just shows him slash like, oh my god, he's cutting her up like sushi. And then not only that, but like not only is that a scary moment because you can't see what's happening, you're just getting those, but Pace's decision to split the panel, to slice the panel, makes it feel even slicier.
Yeah,
really cool storytelling.
Well, again, another they showed and didn't tell.
And
then it was that horror beat, right? Yes. You didn't see what happened, but you know what happened, and you're left to imagine. It's like, what in the heck just happened to Chimera? It's like it wasn't good.
Good.
Yeah, like the only thing that I could think that she could have done at that moment is literally run away. But this isn't her element. Like Transabal wasn't really her element, and this, like, they're in the middle of freaking Zaire. Like, this isn't her element either. She's nowhere near water, unless Zaire is near water. My geography is crap.
I'm going to leave that one to the chat.
Yeah, we will leave that one to someone that can bring up Google Maps and find out where the heck Zaire is in Africa, because I don't know. Yeah, but the battle didn't go well for the Warriors at all. I mean, Scott adds, as he says, it feels a little like a jump-on issue having the commanders describe the Warriors' powers and weaknesses. I think that might be the reason for the extra exposition, too. I want to add something else that I thought was pretty cool. They actually, have you watched Superman yet?
No.
Well, they did something in this book, 30 years prior, that the Lex Luthor's team did against Superman. Lex Luthor had like a bunch of basically had a war room where they had all these cameras set up. So they had people attacking Superman and they could attack him at weak points, et cetera, completely keeping him off his feet. They did something with a much lower level technology here, where they sort of had a chessboard set up with okay, here's virtual images of the Warriors. Let's download their powers and let's take, the information that we know and pass it off to our team so they know how to best attack, how to attack optimally. I really like that idea. I'm sure it was done. Who knows where Evan got that idea from, but I think it was a very good one because basically the Warriors were just out there with foes they had not seen before. They didn't know their power sets, but the foes knew absolutely everything that there was to know about the Warriors. So they were completely caught off guard and at a disadvantage.
That is a good storytelling technique to remind the readers of everyone's powers. And, for those of us invested in the Warriors to be like, oh, I don't like it when the Warriors are going to lose this new scrub team, but it clearly shows that the advantage that the quote unquote new scrub team has.
Yep. And I think what it also sets up, and I don't even remember I do remember what happens at the end of next issue, but I don't, if I had to guess, the Warriors, once they get back together, they will have the full measure of this team and know how to position themselves in order to take out these 6 foes. So we'll see how that goes, though.
All right. Final page is the weird big spiky dude talking about doing weird spiky dude things. Yeah, I don't know, it's the last page, so I'll let you cover it.
Well, the guy's name is Protocol. And the interesting thing here is, and I want Scott to kind of nod his head. Tell me, like, doesn't this look like Patrick Zurcher? Doesn't that look like his artwork? The credits for the book art-wise went entirely to Richard Pace. This looks like Patch Zurcher to me. I don't know. So, like, that's my thought. Scott did a parallel, by the way, and said kind of similar to the Warriors' first encounter with Cyanex in issue 3, where they had studied the Warriors, but the Warriors knew nothing about them. Mm-hmm. That's just scary.
I immediately made that comparison, by the way, and I actually like the Soldiers of Misfortune a little better than I like Cyanex sort of initially. Like, to me, Cyanex was a little overcomplicated, and I was like, weird. Some of them were just weird. But I like this team of bad guys, and it might have to do with, like we talked about, sort of the behind the team of the guys in the really cool ships with the really sharp uniforms and the General Obsidian. Like, there's clearly a lot of menace behind all this. You know, Cyanex was like a dude in a lab who's like, this went wrong, you know? And so there's just more menace here, I think.
There's something, like, man, Protocol, I'm like, I can't, my memory's hazy here. Memory's hazy. Like, at this point, I need to know what's their motivation, because like, you see this page, Protocol was like, no, let's not off these Warriors. We can use them, you know, which, you know, ultimately is a mistake, right? He could have just
it always is.
But he has an idea for, and so, but I need to know the whole idea behind Protocol, this paramilitary force that he has going on, and the Soldiers of Misfortune, because they kind of mentioned something about genetic something with them.
Yeah, all right.
Like, they were out there in the field, they were being very effective. They had taken out 2 members of the Air Force, and I think Protocol or Obsidian asked basically, why didn't they take out the other ones? And he's like, because they were basically depleted. And they mentioned something about genetic material. And other than that, kind of is hazy. So I have a lot of questions about Protocol, about General Obsidian, about the Soldiers of Misfortune that I hope are answered, because like I don't remember these. So I'm looking forward to Warriors 55. I really am. This was the last page.
It was.
So we can move on to Warrior if you want to.
I do. Let's talk about who are we saying acquitted themselves the best, who are we giving the Warrior Award to, and who are we giving the Warrior Award to? Who are we most worried about? Feel free to sound off with your thoughts in the chat as well. And we will start with Delvin.
Yeah, I would have forgotten to tell the audience to do that again. As soon as you even said that, I'm like, son of a biscuit. Anyway.
Just fart into the microphone.
I farted. The Soldiers of Misfortune, like, I can't give it to any of the Warriors because they got their A's whooped.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it wasn't even close. Like, I mean, the fight started out like their number one dude, Nova's like, I'm gonna come in there so fast, because Wright just clocked him and knocked him in the freaking orbit.
I did not like that. I was like, Nova, no, you're the most powerful dude. Well, debatable, but like he's rough and tumble. Like, yeah, he shouldn't be an easy win like that.
But I think it was just one of those got caught by surprise. Like, the whole thing's like, yeah, okay, I see this dude with a big hand. I could assume what he's gonna do, but
I wish I would have put the big hand drawing in here, because it was wonky and funny looking, but I already had too many pages.
I don't know if you ever watched the Foo Fighters video Everlong, but like it was kind of a weird video. And in one of the main features of the video is there's this guy and he had his hand and it just grew to this just really giant size. Like that's what this dude was. This dude was Everlong a couple of years before Everlong came out.
Big hand guy.
Who do you think was the Ultimate Warrior?
Man, you're right. I mean, you got to give it to Soldiers of Misfortune, but to be the warrior that did the new warrior that did the best would probably be Sprocket. Like, got him from point A to point B. She got him some necessary information. Yeah. So, but no, I mean, the warriors here are Soldiers of Misfortune. They are on their game, as is this whole organization.
And so, therefore, I'm worried about the Warriors. I think the only one of them that didn't get captured is Nova. Justice got shot in the dang back. The Firestar got suppressed by that dark force, that whatever
gravity thing,
the gravity thing. So did Speedball, and Chimera got sliced and diced. So like the only person that's left is Nova, and I don't know how he's gonna figure this out, or come in and beat everybody. So or save the day. I have no clue. Let's see. A few comments. Matt Postle says, Warrior, Night Thrasher for staying the hell away from the team's mess. Warrior, Cardinal, gonna need some help. Yeah, that is a big dude in armor, and he fell back over his own quad. Like, unless he's super flexible, that had to hurt.
I think he tore a sack.
What'd you say?
I think he tore a sack.
Eric Porter says, anyone know why Sprocket wasn't supposed to help the Warriors without Thrasher there? And even Scott O'Neill didn't know the answer to that question. Because I saw that, and my thought was maybe, I don't know, maybe it was a money issue or something. Who knows? And because it probably had something to do with the Thrasher continuity. And it's one of those where I kind of wish I was reading Night Thrasher, because they're like the earth-shattering events of Night Thrasher 5. And
they were really leaning on that, weren't they? You were like, man, what did I miss?
Yeah, it kind of made me want to go buy it or look back at it, like kind of. But like maybe if is Night Thrasher and Marvel Unlimited, Jarrod?
Probably. I'd have to check.
Yeah, if you care enough, go and look at issue 5 and see what earth-shattering events happened there. So let's see.
I want an issue where Thrasher just checks his voicemail. They went where? And then what happened?
Like, oh, I would have told them not to go. Like, that's just not good.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Like, because all the intel they got had to be through encyclopedias, for Pete's sake. It was the 90s.
Right.
Scott says, sassy French soldier was the Ultimate Warrior with all the shade he was throwing. That's probably his shadow on Nita on the cover.
I had snarky things to say about that, but I decided to keep our podcast nice and friendly.
What's funny about that is, even though like Sprocket's reply to what he said was like, no, like it's Sprocket. Sprocket had some cuss words. Like, you let me tell you something, you French. Beep, 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 beep. And also beep. Anyway, Scott lets everyone know, and this is definitely good news to know, the Night Thrasher / Nova Omnibus is coming out in a week or two. So if it isn't on Unlimited yet, it will be soon. So good news to the Night Thrasher Nova fans. I've seen a little bit of scuttlebutt about that. In any event, we talked about the book. We talked about Warrior. We have to rate the book now. Audience, if you're listening, please give me your rating. I learned something, Jarrod. I learned.
Learning.
A 1 to 10. Let's go with you first, Jarrod. What would you rate Warriors 54?
It's complicated because it had the heaviness that I was hoping to avoid, but had interesting new bad guys. 7. I'm at a 7 on it.
I'm at an 8. I think it's a very good debut by Evan, by Evan Skolnick. And I'm just reminded of what I have kind of read before. And one of the reasons that I guess Brevoort decided on Evan Skolnick is because Evan was the only one that didn't want to completely kill off the team. And like, so he did, you could tell there are a couple of spots where he did his homework. I didn't read a comment that Scott O'Neill mentioned before, but like when Speedball made a comment early in the book, like, well, yeah, maybe things don't have to be so beep and serious all the time. Like Scott was like, Jarrod, is that you? So like, there are several points where Evan showed that he had done his homework on the book, and I appreciated that. And so I appreciate that. I'm intrigued by these Soldiers of Misfortune. I absolutely am going to have a conversation with Scott. Scott, you need to tell me where you can be found, man. So we can either have a comment or like a phone conversation or something, because I want to hear some more of this dirt on the whole Warriors thing and this transition, because something about it, like, just my spidey sense tingles and says something about this happened like suddenly, and I don't know why. Like, even though we shared our conspiracy theories before, I would love to just hear a little bit more information. Let's see. Matt Paso says, I would say from your guys' description, I give it a 7. Want to see where it goes. Scott O'Neill says it's a 6. I still thought the story was lame. And the villains were children's cartoonish, but I continue to gain more appreciation for Pace's artwork on this reread. I agree with you on that part of it. I remember, and again, like some people would say that issue 50 was Derek Robertson's best artwork that he ever did on the New Warriors. And I thought he had a fantastic run on the New Warriors. And then Richard Pace has to come after that. And that's not fair. But then again, it wasn't fair that Derek Robertson had to come after Mark Bagley, who like did some great work and then finished off with a spectacular issue 25. So it's just kind of the way that things have to go sometimes, right? So Richard Pace had a short run as far as drawing in the book. We get a few more covers from him, and I did a little peek. They're good covers. But we will be introduced very soon to a new artist, which I will get to. Let's see, ladies, gentlemen, I believe that's the show. We're getting this done in tidy, just under 1 hour. Yeah, not too bad. Please come back and join us for the next episode where we discuss New Warriors 55, where Protocol has proto plans for the Proto Warriors. I may have gotten carried away there. Oh yeah, Patrick Zurcher makes his penciling debut. I'm looking forward to that. I remember liking his stuff a lot, so I'm looking forward to revisiting it.
I know he goes on to pretty big time things. I mean, I think he eventually gets Batman.
So if you'd like to hear more from us, LONGBOX CRUSADE, you can look for us everywhere. Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, LONGBOX CRUSADE. Search for us, you'll find us. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and most podcatchers. You can look up Come Out to Play on all of those. You should be able to find our show. It runs Podcast Land about 6 months behind. Of course, we love to have this discussion. We love for people to come join us live, such as our great audience that did so. Please continue to do so. We have a Crusaders Club as well on Patreon. If you look for LONGBOX Crusade there, you will find us, and you can join the Crusaders Club for only $1 a month. And we mentioned YouTube as well. Subscribe, both recorded and live content there, and email as well. Contact at longboxcrusade.com. We even have a phone number, 707-532-LBOX. 5269. Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even looking at the script right now.
His memory.
And like I don't think we have had one yet. Call yet about Come Out to Play. So like, I mean, one of y'all chop like so we can like record that or have that.
We got one. We got one. Not to. Yeah. Remember Rick called in like if they were Transformers. Yeah. That was a fun one. That was
yeah, and that was a fun one. So other than Rick Heineken, by all means, send a voice message. We would love to record it and have a discussion about it. So that's all of the stuff advertising. Jarrod, would you like to advertise yourself? And, you got to show us where you are on the drawing as well.
All right. Drawing. This is where I'm at. Almost. I got pretty much all that. Now I just got to do background work. Before I let you guys know where to find me, I want you to know that once you finish this, if you need something to listen to, we highly recommend Q106.5. They are our new partner. They are playing a LONGBOX Crusade promo over on Q106.5 like every, I don't know, a couple hours or so, they play our promo, which is really cool. And you know what? Let's listen to theirs real quick.
Cover the legendary Q106.5 in your car, on your smart speaker, on your phone. Browse to Q1065.com. 80s, 90s. This is a radio station with a vibe. Download our app or listen online. Search at Q1065 Radio on social media. The Q is your favorite radio station. Discover Q106.5 and hear the 80s and 90s hits on the radio station with personality. Q106.5.
There you have it. That is still my favorite part of that is when he says that he just slips in there. Q1065 is your favorite radio station. It's very subliminal.
I was going to say something, but it had a cuss word in it. I'm not. So yes, go to the app and listen to Q106.5. Get you some 80s and 90s goodness.
So good.
And Jarrod, now where can you be found?
Now you can find me at Yard Sale Artist. X, Facebook, and Instagram is all at Yard Sale Artist. Delvin.
Instagram and Threads, Delvin Ray. See y'all next time. And remember, I almost said freedom is the right of all sentient things.
Freedom
Goodness.
Yo, Joe.
Be a hero to someone, even if it's just to yourself. Until next time, new warriors, come out to play. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here.